Welcome to the series on manipulating arrays in JavaScript. This is not the funnest thing. I am not going to be teaching you any fancy stuff, but I've done a lot of unholy things to arrays that I think can be very useful in, the real world of handling a lot of data. So the first thing that we're going to look at, I think, is the most important array method there is, and that is a map. So what a map is, first of all, let me go over the app that I have here. It's just snapshot of how the Bundesliga is doing so far, which is a football league, which is soccer for American people league, and in Germany. And we have the number of games played, the wins of each team, the losses, and the points. And this is ordered. So to go over what a map is in a more succinct way, we can think about it as it goes through each item of the array, and I can show you the array here. So we have the array here, which has each item is a club. So in this case, it's Bayern Munich, and we have its position, how many games he played, how many wins, goals scored, goals against, and points. So it goes through each of these and runs a function, whatever that function is, and then it returns the new object for each item in the array. It returns the new item. So let's start with something easier, simpler, right? So we have a maps here, which goes through the original class, but let's ignore that. And let's pop open the console here. So if I have an array, so const array equals, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool, beautiful. JavaScript, right? Am I right? JavaScript, okay. And let's map over this. So I can say array.map, and for each of these, I'm going to get a number. And then I can run any function on this number or anything. So I can say number plus 1. So this should return, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it should return 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe. Math. Should have not done math things. Why did I do math things? Okay, so let's do that. And let's console.log this. And if I console log this, we get 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can do this somewhere else. Like I said, a function, so I can create a const add function. And this gets a value. This gets a number, because I call it a number there. It's just easier. And it gets number plus 1. And then I can just, for each of them, I can add the number, right? And this returns me exactly the same thing. Since, quick tip that I found way later in my life. If you're doing this, so if you say, like, I get this value, I was pointing at the screen, I get this value, and then I run a function with the same value, you can just pass the function itself, and automatically it will run the first value in the second one. So, like, it will get the number and run it through the second function, which is quite nice. Okay, so what do we want to do here, right? So what we have here is the list. And I don't know how much y'all know about football. Which maybe explains that I shouldn't have used football. But there are now 3 major competitions in European football. Like the first of them is the Champions League top, and then there's Europa League, and then there's like the third qualifying round of Europa League. I think that's wrong. So there is, you have a Champions League, Europa League, and then there's like the Conference League, which is pretty new, which is if you get thrown out, you go to the Conference League. And there's also like the last 3 clubs in this thing are relegated. So they go to the second German division. It's a little bit more complicated than that in Germany, but let's go with that, right? So how can we do this, right? So let's delete this, and I'm just gonna do this and this, and then I'm gonna return the same club. Okay, cool. So I have each of the club's positions. And I want to say so I'm going to create a const is in Champions League. And I need to make sure that the club position is not greater than 4. So club, that position is smaller or equal to 4. Where's equal? I don't know why I keep looking at my keyboard, because my keyboard does not have the same things that I use. And so what can we do now? So we can return, instead of returning the normal club, we come here and we can spread all of the club properties, and then we can say, I think a club Champions League equals is in the Champions League. And then if I save, I misspelled champion. League. There we go. So we get the first 4 of them are in the Champions League. So we can see that they turn blue. I mean, the UI already does that. This is not a magic table that understands football. So let's say const is in Europa League. Right, all makes sense. And it's club.position equals 4. No, 5, sorry. So if the club.position equals 5, then Europa League equals is in the Europa League, and I'm missing this, and there we go. So if we look at the data now, we can see that position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. And then we just have the last one, which is the, I forgot about the name of it, Conference League. Okay, Europa League gets changed to Conference League. I know this stopped being fun a while ago, but you know, we gotta finish. Oh, league. What is wrong with, why can't I type league? Also, you know what the funny thing about this is that none of them are actually a league. Like, they're just group stages. So like, this would make sense if they were an actual league. You know, like if they had, you know, like a normal league kind of stuff, but they don't. So they're just stages, so it doesn't even make any sense. It's just a playoff. Okay, I think I may have miscalled it. Let me come to this Champions League, Conference League. May have missed, like, you know. No, I did not. I forgot to put the 6 here. Beautiful. Okay, so there's also another thing, which is the last 3 go to relegation, which is here. So we need to give it a relegation. So we need to see what is the length, and the last 3 go to relegation. So we can do this, right? Now that we know how maps work, we can definitely do this. So const, like, number of clubs equals original clubs.length. So this will give me the number of clubs, right? And what I want to do is first relegation club. And this will give me the length. So in this case, I actually don't know how much the length is. Let me go to the data.json. So the length in this case is 18, right? So it has 18 clubs here. And if we remove 3, which is the relegation state, we can say relegation equals club.position is smaller than first relegation. And then we got the 3. So that's it, right? So this is how you can do a bunch of stuff. So you can do anything in here. Anything that you want to do to an object or a small part of an array, you can do with maps, because it's incredibly powerful to be able to run a function through each, which means that you can just return different things, right? You don't have to return the exact same things. In this case, we don't, because we don't need it. So like if we just want to return the club.name, so we can say name equals club.name, and then we put a thing, and it's actually not name, I think it's club.club. And now you can see that when it does the thing, and there we go, we get absolutely nothing. Club. This may not, oh, because it's club. Okay, just ignore that. You can see that you don't return anything else, right? So doing this just means that we're getting all of the stuff, and then we're changing it, right? And then we're adding stuff on it. What if you wanted to change the value of something? So the good news about JavaScript is that if I come here, right, and I say that games played, which is this here, is actually like, that was a mistake, it's 12. Maybe not, it's played, I think it's played. Yeah, played. So I say that, okay, played is actually 12. That one will override anything that comes from the top. So if I come here again to explain better and I put 13, the last one is the one right, kind of like CSS, right? So you can also override anything. And the beautiful thing is that you can just put one on top of the other. So now I can come here and map again, and this will give me the club again, right? And then I can just return the club. And let me just change something so that it makes sense. And then I may change the name of the club to second map. And now we see that you can just stack up maps on top of each other. So again, this is the most useful function when it comes to manipulating arrays because it's incredibly powerful. It doesn't really just set you in one place, right? It gives you a bunch of liberty because you're the one setting the functions. Okay, cool. Hope this was useful, and I'll see you in the next one.